Good good day everyone. Today we're going to talk about backup part 5 airworthiness. So our group member, our leader and G-Slide editor Paulo Cyrillos and our video editor Naif Salo and the speakers are Ralph Dolas Reyes and me Faisal Najim. We are going to discuss about backup 5.2 aircraft component and original certification and backup part 5.4 certificate of airworthiness, backup part 5.5 continued airworthiness of aircraft and components, backup part 5.6 aircraft maintenance and inspection. And for the implementing standards, we have IS 5.1.1.2 A3 major repairs and IS 5.1.1.2 A5 preventing maintenance and IS 5.6.1.7 performance rules 100-hour inspection and IS 5.7.1.1 recording of major repairs and major modification. For Packer 5.2 applicability, we have A and B and C. Any applicant he has to follow the rules of original certification of the aircraft related to aeronautical product, and the authority will hold that such part received until such time it has been received for an application for type of certificate, and any applicant for production certificate for any aircraft product manufacturer in the Philippines shall comply with the type of the certificate as required by the state of design and has to be approved. For D and E, in such time the applicant for production is presented by the authority will be available for the insurer of the certificate of airworthiness. And any component or product installed or going to be installed in a Philippine registered aircraft shall have an airworthiness approval tag, approved and accepted by the authority and issued by an authorized person based on in his inspection and the operation test.
Okay, so good day, classmates. I am your next speaker, Ralph de los Reyes, and I will be talking about PICAR 5.4 Certificate of Airworthiness. 5.4.1.2 Eligibility. Point A just mentions that it talks about if you are a registered owner of Republic of the Philippines and you also have a registered aircraft, you can apply or you may apply for a certificate of airworthiness for that aircraft. Now, point B just talks about if you're going to apply for a certificate of airworthiness, you have to do it in a form and manner that is acceptable to the authority. Now, figure 1 is an example of certificate of airworthiness. Basically, this is what it looks like if you have a certificate of airworthiness. It talks about the nationality, the manufacturer, the serial number of that aircraft. Is it a fixed wing? Under what category does your aircraft fall under? And many more.
For IS, for Part 5.5, conducted airworthiness of aircraft and components, we have 5.5.1.3 in general. No person may perform maintenance or repairs or modification that as prescribed in the regulation. And for B, no person may operate an aircraft with manufacturer, maintenance manual, or instruction. So in general, no one may operate a maintenance or repair or modification on an aircraft without then the prescribed in this regulation. For C and D and E, no person may operate a nautical product to which airworthiness directive applies issued by the state of design. When the authority determines that an airframe or a nautical product has exhibited an unsafe conduction, the authority may issue a airworthiness directive prescribing inspection and the condition and limitation. The authority shall ensure that all mandatory counting or airworthiness information which is the state organized in the respective that aircraft. So in general, no person may operate anything without the state of design, or when the authority determines that the product is unsafe, the authority will issue a directive inspection or conditional limitation in that product.
Maintenance and inspection. PCAR 5.6.1.5 persons authorized to perform inspections. Now, in point A, it mentions that no one, strictly no one other than the authority can perform inspections that are required under the subpart 8.2.1.7. And there are quite few exceptions for this section, such as the first one, an aviation maintenance technician. Now, the aviation maintenance technician can conduct required inspections for which he or she is rated and current, except for the aircrafts that fall under commercial operations. So what this basically means is that you can conduct inspections, just not for aircrafts involved in commercial operations. Now, next thing is you have an approved maintenance organization. Now, an approved maintenance organization, they can perform required inspections only under approved specifications by the authority. So the authority can give you specifications, and the authority should approve this so that the approved maintenance organization can perform the required inspection. Okay, now let's talk about implementing standard 5.1.1.2 A3 major repairs definition. So this implementing standard, it just talks about the major repairs that you need to do or you need to perform on the aircraft. For example, you have to perform major repairs on an airframe. You have to perform major repairs on a power plant, a propeller, on an appliance, and many more. Now, for airframe major repairs, it just involves performing major repairs on airframes such as box beams, monocoque, uh, spar flanges, and many more. It also involves the strengthening, reinforcing, splicing. It also involves replacement of fabrication such as riveting, welding, or basically anything related to airframe. Next, major repair that you must perform is a power plant major repairs. You need to perform major repairs for things such as a separation or disassembly of reciprocating engine that are equipped with an integral supercharger or equipped with the spar type propeller reduction gearing. It also involves the special repairs to structural engines. Then next thing that you would need to perform major repairs is on propeller major repairs. Now, for propeller major repairs, is basically anything that you have to perform on the propeller for major repairs, such as the shortening of blades, retipping of wood propellers, and many more, such as any repairs to or strengthening of steel blades. Now, the next or last one is the appliance major repairs. So you have to perform repairs on appliance such as the calibration and repair of instruments, complete disassembly of complex hydraulic power valves, rewinding the field coil of an electrical accessory, and many more.
5.1.125 preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance is limited to the following work provided does not involve complex assembly operation. So anyone or the aircraft technician, the preventive maintenance that he can do, he can removal or installing of landing gear tires, replacing the shock absorber of the landing gear, serving the landing gear by adding oil or air or both, receiving landing gear while servicing landing gear wheel bearings such as cleaning them or greasing them and replacing defective safety wirings or cotter keys.
Now let's talk about IS 5.6.1.7 performance rules and 100-hour inspections. Now, for a person performing an annual or 100-hour inspection, you should thoroughly clean your aircraft and the engine. You should also remove and open all inspection plates, access doors, fairings, and cowlings. Basically anything basically any procedure that you need to perform before or during a 100-hour inspection. Now, for point B, it just talks about like the components that you need to inspect, okay, or basically the groups that you need to inspect in a 100-hour inspection or annual inspection, such as the first one, the fuselage and hull group. The fuselage is what keeps everything together, the wings, the empennage, the propellers, or the power plants and all that. That's the fuselage. It involves inspecting IS 5.6, 1.1.7 performance rules and 100-hour inspections. Now, for a person performing an annual or 100-hour inspection, you should thoroughly clean your aircraft and the engine. You should also remove and open all inspection plates, access doors, fairings, and cowlings. Basically anything basically any procedure that you need to perform before or during an 100-hour inspection. Now, for point B, it just talks about like the components that you need to inspect, okay, or basically the groups that you need to inspect in a 100-hour inspection or annual inspection, such as the first one, the fuselage and hull group. The fuselage is what keeps everything together, the wings, the empennage, the propellers, or the power plants and all that. That's the fuselage. It involves inspecting fabric and skin, or the windows and windshields, the instruments, the batteries in the fuselage, and many more. These are just examples of what you need to inspect in the fuselage and a hull group. Now, for the next group that you must perform inspection on is the engine and nacelle group. So for the engines, you must inspect for the engine section, the you should check for possibility or the um possible failure, lines, hoses, and clamps, engine controls, flexible vibration dampeners, and many more. Then for gear group, just basically the landing gear system, you must perform inspections on all units. You should check for hydraulic lines, inspect for electrical systems, linkage trusses and members, and many more. Especially the tires, okay? They are most likely to implode or explode during landing, so it's very, very important that you must inspect the wheels or the tires, basically, for any cracks, defects, or cuts. And number four is this wing and center section assembly, the group. You must inspect for the wings, you must inspect for a poor general condition. You must also inspect for distortion, evidence of failure, insecurity of attachments, and basically any insecure um, mountings. For a group five, basically the empennage assembly, the main parts of the empennage is the rudder and elevators. You must inspect for those, such as like skin deterioration, distortion, evidence of failure, many more. Same with the propeller group. This is just anything that relates to propeller group that you have to inspect. The avionics instrument group, the same rule applies. Anything that's related to avionics instrument group, anything. These are just the things that you have to inspect. Like for example, the glass cockpit on this picture below is a glass cockpit that shows you the screen where it shows you the altitude, the location of the aircraft, um, and the speedometer and all that. Now you have the electrical group. This is just the next group that correlates to what you should inspect on the electrical groupings. And the ninth, or the installed miscellaneous item, is that um, anything that you have to inspect, that are miscellaneous items that are not listed on the listing according to the manuscript, just for a continued airworthiness. And that's that.
So for this part, IS 5.7.1.1 recording of major repairs and major modification. Each person performing a major repairs or major modification shall, it has 1, 2, and 3. At first, you have to form prescript by the authorized at least duplicate and give a signed copy to the aircraft owner, and for the copy of that form to the authority within 48 hours with accordance with the authority instruction. For B in place of recording in paragraph, we have 1 and 2 and 3, and you have 1 and 2 and 3. One, the customer work order has to be prepared. The customer work repair order has to be recorded. B, give the aircraft owner a signed copy of that work. 3, give the aircraft owner maintenance release signed by authorized representative of the AMO. That copy has to be identify of the aeronautical product, if the aircraft, make, model, and series number, and nationality. If the aeronautical product given the manufacturer name, put it, the name of the part and model and the series number if there is any. And for part of and for 4, include the following or a similar worded statement. The aeronautical product identified above was repaired, overhauled, and inspected in endurance. So in that you have to put this statement as the what is the aeronautical product that has been repaired, overhauled, and effective, and is approvable to return for service. You can see in this picture you have the major repair and modification. You have the name, as we mentioned before. You have to put your name and the serial number and the model and nationality of the aeronautical product. And for authority, you can see for the inspection and for the CA inspection and all that what they are going to fill. And for reference and for more information, you can visit the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, PACAR Part 5 to be specific. Thank you for flying with us in this lesson. I hope that you learned about airworthiness PACAR Part 5.